Welcome everyone. This is Dr. Meskó, the medical futurist. Hopefully you can hear me and see me well enough. Before we start, we are in 1996 and that's the first time, it's the 14th of March, and that's the first time I go online. I had a chance to browse the internet and it blew my mind away. I was sure that my life would be different from that point, and also that the whole world would be different because the internet will open so many doors. I had a similar feeling at the end of November 2022, just a few weeks ago, when for the first time I could check out and use ChatGPT. I had the same feeling that it's going to change my life, it's going to change the world forever, because I think the appearance of ChatGPT marks the beginning of the AI era. AI is not just in research papers and studies anymore. AI is a tool we can all use, enjoy, have fears and doubts about. But in essence, now we all have to start discovering how AI can contribute to our jobs, to our lives, to our fields of interest. That's the topic of today's The Medical Futurist Live YouTube Q&A, and thank you so much for those being here on the stream. So many questions coming in already. Hey guys, welcome from all over the world. I know that it's quite a global audience. And while I love hearing where you are coming from, the truth is that I planned for an hour-long Q&A as usual, but through the Eventbrite website, we've received about 50-something questions, really detailed, thoughtful questions about ChatGPT. Plus, I prepared so many things. I'm looking at my monitors here, so many things for you. And we plan to dive into ChatGPT, using it for medical purposes. So I plan to discover and analyze many things with you about this AI tool today. Plus, you've been sending in questions already. So maybe, thank you, Balint, for confirming that you can see me and hear me well enough. Modern Science just asked the perfect question to start the whole stream with. What is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a large language model. It was made available by OpenAI. Maybe you know this company. Let me share it with you just in a second. OpenAI is an AI research and deployment company, and they made this tool completely globally available, called ChatGPT, among others. They're also the ones behind DALL-E and DALL-E 2, the AI image generators, among many other things, but this is the first tool that is really globally accessible. And I plan to show you many things about it, but the main thing is that ChatGPT is a bunch of algorithms, machine learning algorithms put together. It's a really sophisticated, let's say, computer program that were trained based on two methods. One is supervised learning and the other one is reinforcement learning. So first, it was given many conversations and it tried to come up with the right responses. And then in the reinforcement learning stage of the development of ChatGPT, it received feedback about how well it performed on those conversation-based tasks. But imagine that happening millions and millions of times, and it keeps on becoming even better with every single query we put into the ChatGPT tool. So before diving into all that, again, I want to go through all the questions that you asked, but I also want to answer those that came in live. Well, just very briefly, why I'm doing this, why I'm here with you today. I lead the Medical Futurist team, 15 people, and we are trying to help policymakers, governments, medical professionals, patients, patient organization leaders, have a better context about digital health challenges, about artificial intelligence. Every day I analyze many news and we try to describe those to them in a meaningful way. We don't overhype technologies, we don't create fear, we want to give the middle ground. And at the same time, at the Medical Futurist Institute, we do the same through peer-reviewed research. I lead a research team and we publish in high-level journals about why digital health is a cultural transformation, how advanced technologies from the metaverse to wearable sensors can impact the doctor-patient relationship, and even more importantly, what role artificial intelligence can and will play in the near future of medicine and healthcare. So we spend a lot of time with my peers, with my colleagues, thinking about, talking about the potentials of ChatGPT and other tools, because it's not just ChatGPT. We have a bunch of AI tools out there. Some of them are just in papers for now and studies, and we cannot access them from outside. Some others, like this tool and image generators, are everywhere. So today I don't just plan to talk about ChatGPT and use it in action, but I also plan to discuss some image generators with you. The second question I thought would be the best that I should ask is this. It is coming from Derek Kassari, and the question is around, has it passed the Turing test? Well, Turing test is around whether we can describe, there are two doors or two rooms, there is an AI entity in one room or a computer and a person in another room, and we provide questions and we receive responses, and whether someone being outside can determine if the AI is in room 1 or room 2, it means the AI would pass the Turing test if there is no distinction, no difference between how they perform on answering those questions. My back question to you is, does it matter if it has passed the Turing test? I mean, if it has passed the Turing test and if it's a AI entity and almost artificial general intelligence, then so what? If it hasn't passed it yet, but tens of millions of people find it useful and it changes fields of interest or jobs or lives, so what? So I think the Turing test is just simply not so relevant anymore. Jyoti Lama, hello everyone, I'm a nurse midwife from Nepal. I'm not sure how AI will help my midwifery practice. I'm here to make myself aware on this new topic and a very interesting idea. That's a fantastic thing to do. I don't think that it will impact directly your midwifery practice, but I have no doubts that the patients you come across will start asking you questions that they receive from ChatGPT, that they receive by using other AI-based tools. And even if you don't have to use AI in your everyday practice, but you will have to be able to help patients deal with those answers that they receive from AI. Dr. Z, good morning in US West Coast. Thank you for being here. Happy to be here. Could AI-based chats help doctors, patients select the optimal surgical approach, let's say for a total hip arthroplasty? Well, let's think about, because I don't want to just answer a question to you in a way that you get a response. I want you to be able to answer similar questions yourself without me being here. How can someone think about a response for that? How do surgeons select the optimal surgical approach for a total hair arthroplasty? They have access to medical records, they have access to medical knowledge, data, medical images through radiology, and then based on the knowledge they get from textbooks, I don't say common knowledge because everything is in textbooks, so based on knowledge in textbooks and new studies with new guidelines, they can come up with the optimal surgical treatment. I think all of these parts can be digitized. All of these points of information and data can be digital. Therefore, the ChatGPT can have access to all of them. And from there, it's just a matter of fine-tuning how we can improve the algorithm's efficiency in collecting all those data points and pieces of information and put together an optimal surgical treatment plan. We do the same with medical students, essentially. We don't expect them to come up with the perfect answers from day one. We spend years teaching them, and medical students spend years studying and learning these details until the time they are able to make such decisions. David H. has a question, a very good question actually. And in the meantime, please keep the questions coming in. The more questions you ask, the lower chance I have to go to the Eventbrite website and start answering those 50 plus questions. But you know me, I always want to go through every single question, even if I run out of breath here, but that's my plan for today. So I'm curious about the diagnostic power of ChatGPT compared to what IBM was doing with their Watson project. The comparison is a bit tricky because IBM sold Watson last year, and Watson is not even active anymore. Some new product might come out of it in the near future, but Watson doesn't exist for now as it used to be. But I understand that you want to compare it to a tool we know that's in place, that exists and are being used in action. I think ChatGPT does fairly well on these questions. I actually, as a researcher, I reviewed a paper like 2 days ago where researchers put ChatGPT onto a medical exam questionnaire, and it performed really well, like above 60%, even though they removed some complicated questions including numbers, data, medical images, but still 60% is like a good medical student average. And if you put something like this into a ChatGPT, let me show it to you. Like, well, that's not the first thing I did. The first thing I did was I downloaded the what's its name? It's 36 page. Not this one. I want to show you something different. Give me a second here. I wanted to show you this. It's page 64. So the case files for internal medicine. Many medical students have to go through this during their studies. There are many case files in internal medicine here with the utmost details. Like you get a case and then you are being guided by these amazing authors how to solve that case. And I thought that I would just copy edit this part. I hope you can see that. Yes, you can see that. Put into ChatGPT and expect a response. And the response was actually gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, as we call it. And the real answer here was, I think, peptic ulcer disease. They are not the same, but they're very similar. And it's easy for a medical student to make that mistake themselves. But actually, we can try doing this. We can just look at another case. Like, let me see the next one. Case 5. It's a really long, really complicated case with all these medical records and patient data. And not this one, new chat. Okay. It seems it's just too much for this. If it all week, ChatGPT has been down for me. I think the same will happen now. No, okay, it's up. Good. Hopefully now. So it's not always up. I've had many troubles with it technically in the last couple of days. I guess everyone is using ChatGPT now. So I will come back to that. For the last case, it took about a minute or so for it to come up with some answers. So I will dive into that after it's done. Until then, let me see what kind of questions you keep on asking. AB, that's a name. Your thoughts on implementing authentication, verification and authorization requirements in order to use the OpenAI engine? I think it's a good question to ask. Of course, it's a fair question to ask. In other fields outside healthcare medicine, I don't see a problem with that. But in healthcare, patients' lives are at stake. So of course, we need to verify the information. I just don't see how it would happen. Just imagine that 1 million physicians are asking ChatGPT really complicated questions right now, and they are getting 10 million responses. Who would be able to physically verify those results? Even if we could ask physicians to verify the results and run studies based on that, by the time we finish the study, ChatGPT has a new edition, a new iteration. So I'm afraid this is why is the mark of the beginning of the AI era, because from now on, only AI tools will be able to verify such details or information coming out of chat tools or AI tools. So yeah, I expect AI to do that for us. And that's why I was astonished when just like 4 weeks after ChatGPT was published, I came across this paper from Google's research team and a research team at DeepMind as well. This is a very detailed, very long study about the large language model they built that they called Multimed QA. And the reason why I'm showing you this, not because we want to scroll through everything, but at the end, they've included real-life examples of what kind of questions they included. Like, I'm trying to make it a bit bigger for you. These are similar types of case descriptions like the ones I just included in ChatGPT, and that was a multiple choice question, and it performed extremely well on these questions, solving these really complicated cases. It's different from ChatGPT because this model was trained on medical data, on medical databases, on case studies. Therefore, it's a bit more prone, more maybe trained towards answering specifically medical questions. In the meantime, Yeah, I have to show you the ChatGPT's response because it arrived in the meantime. Based on this, after like thinking for 1.5 minutes, I guess not because it's that slow, but because of the high load that the website is experiencing right now. It says the results and the symptoms suggest that she may have hyponatremia, which is characterized by a low serum sodium level. Here's the case. Hyponatremia. Yeah. So I think it's a pretty good response. I mean, look, I always try to be as objective as possible as a researcher about the progress of these advanced technologies. But if it doesn't blow your mind away, then nothing will. It's far from artificial general intelligence. It's very much artificial narrow intelligence. But man, it's a breakthrough. When you provide such a case and it gives such responses, it will shape how we access information as physicians, how patients obtain information online. I mean, 2 years ago, even today, there is a general discussion among physicians that what if my patient goes online and looks for their symptoms and they will find all these information on piece of information on medical websites, and what will they do with those pieces of information? That discussion needs to change now. What if my patient uses artificial intelligence to respond to a very specific, very detailed medical case? And how do you respond to that? In the case of websites, at least we were able to say that, well, if the website had medical editors, or medical professionals as editors, at least we know that physicians are working on the content. If it's updated regularly, if it has a terms and conditions and all these things, then at least we can say that the information in general can be trusted enough to be used in the medical decision-making process. But what do you say now to that patient asking about, well, AI told me to do this or that? What's your response to this? It's just simply mind-blowing. Okay. Many questions keep coming in. Please keep them coming in. I will go through all of them, even if we have to sit through the night here. At least it's 4:20 in Budapest in Central Europe right now. All right. I'm trying to find the next question from someone who hasn't asked questions yet. Modern science, could I be more specific about what? About ChatGPT or some other thing I said? Rohini Verma, how AI work in medicine, discovery and result given by AI, and how much it is accurate? It was a very strange question to ask this way, but I get the implication of your question. There's no way to tell how accurate it is. Like, if you ask a general chatbot a question, there are many. I mean, we published this article on medicalfuturist.com not so long ago. We publish this every single year, the top 12 health chatbots. And you can find so many chatbots here from Other Health, Babylon Health, really, really good ones. We review them every single year and choose the 12 ones I like the most. And if you ask questions, if you use these chatbots to ask medical questions, in most cases, the responses you get also have a sort of a reference or further reading section. So like, we made these decisions based on these or those references, medical websites, medical studies. But in the case of ChatGPT, what is the reference? It's just an answer. It's a good one, by the way. It's a very complicated one, but it is just an answer. And there is no way for now to verify these results. And I just don't see a systematic or technological way for verifying these responses. I think what's going to happen now is that you and I, if you're a patient, if you're a physician or policymaker, if you turn to an AI-based tool and use it for such conversations, you need to be the one verifying the information. If you use the information, it's your responsibility. You cannot tell anyone that it was the AI giving me that. AI tools are amazing. They keep on providing such answers, but it's going to be our individual responsibility about verifying those pieces of information, the responses, the details, the answers we get from these conversational chatbots. I know it doesn't sound, optimistic or well enough, but I see the romantic value in it, that we have to get better individually. to make a distinction between information we get from AI tools, which are good, which are bad, or information we get from analog websites, not even AI tools. Andre Oliveira, it's a good question to ask, actually. What is the best use to start? A few days ago, I had my niece over. She's 11 years old, and I made cocktails for the guests we had at home, and I wanted to make a non-alcoholic cocktail, of course, for her. I have no idea how to do that, so I just asked ChatGPT, well, can you please make I always say please when I talk to technologies, can you please make a non-alcoholic cocktail recipe for me using these ingredients? And I listed what I had at home, and it came up with a brilliant idea. So I don't think we should use it as a start for answering medical questions and solving medical cases. Ask something you have been thinking about. The other day, oh, you can see it now. Let me go to the browser. You can see my brief. Okay, you can see you think I give up that easy? Here is my brief. So, can you, almost there. Can you please come up with ideas about what kind of new videos I should make for my YouTube channel? I know you don't like the capital O. That is about the future of medicine, digital health technologies, and the use of artificial intelligence in healthcare. I'm always very kind to these AI tools. So when there is a Skynet-like scenario, I hope that they will be very kind to me. So in a few seconds, hopefully, we would see the response coming from ChatGPT. And while we are looking at that, I cannot check your new questions, but please keep them coming in. So yeah, start with something easy, something about your life, something you have been thinking about. The other day, I asked ChatGPT to come up with birthday gifts ideas for my wife, who is that many years old, likes these and those things, has a hobby, has a daughter, and so on. And it came up with really good responses, really good ideas I didn't expect to see. Okay, we don't have that much time, ChatGPT, so I will come back to this in a few seconds, like in the other case. But in the meantime, I want to go on with your amazing questions. All right. Area Mola, if the question is for me, what are you doing now professionally? I'm a researcher focusing on digital health and artificial intelligence being used in medicine and healthcare. You can find my researcher profile on Google Scholar, obviously. Vanessa Silva, how can we be reassured that the data used for ChatGPT is scientifically valid? You cannot be sure about that. ChatGPT doesn't even provide you with the references based on which it made those decisions, but OpenAI, I think, will provide more details about how ChatGPT was trained. For now, as I mentioned before, we only know that it was trained on conversations through two methods. One was about supervised learning, and the other one was about reinforcement learning. But just a general essay, it's never in the middle. I'm the only one being disturbed by that. Okay, I'm doing my best for you now. Just a general reminder that based on Nick Bostrom's amazing book, Superintelligence, there are 3 levels of AI. If we zoom out and look at the long-term perspective of this technology, what we have today is artificial narrow intelligence, meaning one algorithm can perform a very well-defined single task, but one single task with an IQ of 0. The next level could be artificial general intelligence, when one algorithm has a human being's cognitive capacity. So in short, whatever you are capable of, that AI, I say entity, not just algorithm, would be able to do the same. And the plan that AI researchers, even those working at OpenAI, have in mind is just not to reach artificial general intelligence. And now we are still in the artificial narrow intelligence part. I would say somewhere here. Maybe we were here 3 months ago and we are here now. but we are really far away from artificial general intelligence, no matter how impressive ChatGPT is right now. It couldn't come up with. I want ChatGPT to answer a question about my YouTube channel, but because it's coming, it's happening. Let me show it to you. So, ideas on my YouTube channel, a series on the latest advancements in digital health technologies, in telemedicine, wearables. Good idea. I had one like this before. A review of current and upcoming AI-powered diagnostic tools. I love that. I haven't done it yet. I've been producing many videos about AI in medicine, but not, about especially diagnostic tools. A discussion of the ethical implications of AI. An overview of the role of blockchain technology in healthcare. A look at the future of personalized medicine like genomics, proteomics. A review of current state of healthcare in developing countries. Wow, it's a great topic. The exploration of the impact of virtual reality and other types of realities. AI in drug discovery. It's simply beautiful. I mean, I could come up with such things because I've been producing like 500 videos on my YouTube channel for 10 years, but to do it in like 10 seconds is just simply extraordinary. In the meantime, I come back to your questions, which keep coming in. So you can't be sure that the responses you get on ChatGPT are accurate. You have to validate them yourself. Yes, Harvey, you make a good point that ChatGPT, the next iteration will have a professional edition. And if you pay for that, you will have access to it all the time. Plus, if you think about it, then it's just a thought. How much ChatGPT can do in practice right now that's running in the background, in the research labs of OpenAI. Because what we have is a tool in the open public. But in the background, they must have an even more sophisticated, more dynamic, even smarter edition. What can that edition be capable of? That's just simply mind-blowing. Okay, how to teach ChatGPT is asked by Andre Oliveira. I think it's being constantly done, not just by OpenAI using reinforcement learning methods, but even if you come here, I go back to the ChatGPT answer, here it is. You provide feedback, and I think these kinds of feedback matter. And if you do that, you keep on contributing to ChatGPT's advance. I don't think that these written feedback forms will be the ones really contribute to the major progress of ChatGPT, but I think these are being used heavily by the researchers working on that. Do you think Google DeepMind will be better than ChatGPT? For specific questions, I do think they have a chance to be better than ChatGPT. So for medicine and healthcare, Multimed QA can be better than ChatGPT. Apparently, it is better based on the study I just shared with you. Actually, I thought we could run an experiment here. If I go to the study that Google published, these questions are in the supplementary materials, and they provide a case, and then they provide 4 potential answers. And let's be very bold here, and I will include that question for ChatGPT without providing a chance. I will just ask, what is the next best step in the management of this patient? And we will see what it comes up. We don't know yet. And I will try to compare the results. Browser. It would be the next best step in the management of this patient would be to consult with a psychiatrist and a perinatologist, a specialist in high-risk pregnancies, to determine the best course of treatment. This may involve adjusting a current medication regimen, close monitoring, to establish a regular contact. Okay, so it's very vague because there are no specific treatment options being offered. It just made me curious what if I provide some potential responses like what they did with the Google tool, the Multimed QA. Will it be able to find that one? No, come on, ChatGPT. You have been kind to us throughout the whole stream. Let's keep on doing that. Okay, we will come back to this. I will monitor it for you. But in the meantime, I want to keep on going with the questions. Dr. Klaus Christopher Amalung, do you pay for ChatGPT? Or do you get this for free? And what is the difference to Google and choose the proper answer? Well, nobody is paying for that now, but there will be a professional edition, which means you will be guaranteed an uptime. When you want to use ChatGPT, you will have access to it no matter how many people are trying to use it. It's an understandable business model. And the difference between Google and ChatGPT is that Google gives you the best guess the algorithm has about which website or link might have the response to your question or the information you're looking for. Opposite to that, ChatGPT is trying to answer that question as a conversational agent. It still gathers information throughout the whole internet from before 2021. So nothing new, nothing refreshed, maybe do decrease the chance of it being used for the wrong reasons, but it's a conversational chatbot. I'm smiling because it just started responding to that. It has been thinking for about more than 1 minute, and the response it gave is B. So it understood that it had 4 choices, and it made a choice, and then it describes the reasons behind that. In the Google paper, the answer was D, actually, and there is no reason provided for that. So I would say it's a bad choice. You see, how can you make a difference? Like you come up with such a complicated medical case, and you start inputting them into medical chatbots, and those will come up with responses. But even if you verify that the Google chatbot was giving a great response, but the ChatGPT was not useful, it was 1 question. But there can be billions of questions. And how can you verify each of them every single time? You won't. We will be the ones verifying each of these questions, no matter how complicated future it entails. Oh, Dr. Science, of course, it's chat, actually. Let me just include the link to the actual ChatGPT here. This is the link. All right. I go back to the last questions. Yes, thank you, Jay Polizzi. You need to create an account at OpenAI, and then you have to log in, and there you can use the chat. Gustavo Zumelzo, how do you think it can be used by health personnel to reduce administrative tasks overload? I'm so happy that you asked this question, because we actually published an article about it like 1 week after ChatGPT was really coming out and becoming widespread and available. And we came up with a few like scenarios, such as it could summarize medical records based on patient's family history, symptoms, and lab results. Just imagine that a patient comes in, there is 1 paper they bring in with the medical records they have, 1 paper about family history, and 1 paper about symptoms, and 1 more about lab results. If you put all these together, you as a physician have to be able to sit down and write everything down into a condensed medical record profile. ChatGPT could do that for us, and you only have to reconfirm that the right details were written down. Also, I hope that you can see. Yes, you can see. It could summarize, analyze research papers like ChatGPT, please list keywords for me in an abstract, or summarize a long and detailed research paper. Before you ask, yes, it means that I think it's going to be possible to write full research papers using ChatGPT. Yeah, I think a whole different live Q&A session should be dedicated to that alone. We think that ChatGPT could be useful for writing general texts like emails or a blurb, or like basic descriptions, like there is the flu season is coming up, and you as a physician, you like sending out the generalized emails to your patients about raising awareness about the importance of the flu vaccine. ChatGPT can do that for you in 3 seconds. It could answer broad questions, like you are looking for something, but you're not so good at Googling. You can ask questions about that, like what is the, I don't know, health insurance code for this or that disease in this and that zip code, and it will be able to come up with a response. It could also work as like an administrative assistant, like we also asked it, could you work as a chatbot in a doctor's office, and describe what kind of things it could do. I think the last thing is the thing that you all should start with. It helps you build a relationship with AI. It makes sense, believe me. You have to have a relationship that you know, that you are aware of, that you know how you respond to such queries, how you respond when you see the responses coming from an AI tool, because it will mark and determine the way you will keep on working with these AI-based technologies. Ricardo Bezzo asked a very good question. Is ChatGPT using all the information present in the web at the time of the question? No, just before 2021, to avoid focusing on recent events. Meaning that a question answered today by GPT could be different in a few weeks after the information on web updated? No, because everything is crawled from the web before 2021. Gábor Farkas, what is ChatGPT's answer for how it can be used in healthcare? It's a good question. Let's ask our beautiful friend called ChatGPT. Here it is. You can see that, but you will in a second. Here it is. Let me ask the question. Okay. How ChatGPT could be used in healthcare? I'm very curious. ChatGPT can be used in healthcare in a variety of ways, such as virtual health assistants. ChatGPT could be used to build virtual health assistants. Okay. Medical documentation. It could generate medical documentation, such as discharge summaries and progress notes. Amazing. Clinical decision support. It could help provide clinical decision support by analyzing patient data and suggesting appropriate treatment options. Medical education, to create interactive and personalized learning experiences for medical students. Telemedicine. It can be used to facilitate virtual consultations through natural language processing. Medical research. It could assist, as I mentioned, researchers in summarizing large amounts of literature. And clinical trial matching. Wow. It could be used to match patients with appropriate clinical trials based on their medical history and symptoms. Guys, I would love to be able to say to you that these are just fancy responses and it's just too good to be true. But all of these could be used in and could be working in practice. It's simply mind-blowing. Salman, is it possible an iOS app version? I don't think they have an app for now. It's just a website where you can get involved with the conversational chatbot. Would also be great to have a real-time transcription of like a 50-minute therapy sessions and have ChatGPT create a quick summary as required by law. If you think about it, a future iteration of ChatGPT, I think could be able to do that. Is it considered to be specialization according to medical departments? Salman, I don't understand the question. Please elaborate on that. It has the same answer like your article. I guess it keeps on providing the same answers for the same questions. Why would it change? Because all the information it gathers are before 2021. I also want to share the article we wrote about it. It is here. And let's keep on going with the questions. Ivor Juster, quite a regular guest on this channel, had this question. What might be the next few years' evolution of AI-enabled medical chat for clinicians to take on to move healthcare forward? For example, if AI-enabled medical chat became increasingly integrated into a health sensor ecosystem. I just think that because of doctor shortages, because of the 5 million physicians missing now in healthcare globally, and the 10 million that will be missing by 2030, at some point, and maybe we are very close to that point, every stakeholder in healthcare will have to accept that we have to reach out to ChatGPT or similar AI tools to fill in the gaps. It's better to provide information that must be verified, thus we cannot know for sure if it's good or not before verification, compared to providing nothing. Because that's what we do with at least a billion patients today. We are not able to provide any kind of care because we simply don't have enough trained medical professionals to do that. So chatbots in that way will jump into healthcare and become implemented, I think. Even from this year, I guarantee you that there will be healthcare systems using ChatGPT in action. All Aurelien Bisquera had this very smart question. I think the last part is the one I haven't answered before. What possible ethical problems could come from the use of ChatGPT? I can only give you ethical problems for now. It provides a wrong response to a physician who makes a bad decision based on that because he or she wasn't able to verify the quality of the information. It provides a bad decision about medication, which leads to side effects or hospitalization. It gives patients bad recommendations or lifestyle insights. It summarizes a research paper in the wrong way. It summarizes the medical records in a misleading way, which would be very, very hard for a human physician to spot. Like it makes an error, of course, non-intentionally, but it's an important detail that's different from the real data patient had and the data that got into medical records that might lead to bad decisions later on. I can go on forever. I can only think of ethical issues and considerations for now. Eric van der Hulst has a very smart question to ask. How will bias be corrected in ChatGPT? For example, millions of old school treatments compared to new insights that have little presence on the internet. I think no way. Even the best AI tools can be biased because the database behind them, the databases they were trained on were biased. And it can only be the conscious decision of those training AI-based tools to avoid bias by making sure that the databases are unbiased. I don't see yet how AI would be able to correct those biases. How you compare from the medical point of view ChatGPT and MD Palm? Like, what is MD Palm? Let me check. It's a chatbot. If you by MD Palm you mean the chatbot Google came up with, then I would rate it much higher on comparing it to ChatGPT on responding to specifically medical questions. Modern science, can ChatGPT be used in nanotechnological devices that focus on healthcare and nanopharmaceutical drugs? I guess for asking ChatGPT questions about the research components of that, it could be useful, but I don't see how it would change the field for now. How can we, Gianmarco Garnier, it's a good question to ask, that's why I'm smiling. How can we make people desist from asking to chatbots instead of doctors? Should a hard limitation be implemented, like the banner that pops up with COVID information? I guess there is something like that. When you go to the new chat, look at this. They have amazing recommendations here. May occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content, limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. What else? A pop-up would help. This we all have to acknowledge that this is using these AI tools is not fundamentally different ethically from using a website to answer a medical question or to look for medical information. It used to be the final decision of physicians and patients about the medical decision-making process, even if when they used to just check medical websites. Now they will use AI tools and will use recommendations coming from AI-based services that check all the data coming from all our health wearables and smartwatches. I see the difficulty in that, yet it's going to be people at the end of the line making decisions. They have to be the one verifying all these details. I know it sounds like a dystopic scenario, but I always look at this from the other side, that we get a chance to really summarize the information we needed from the internet that we had to build skills for years and years to get better at in a few seconds without having those skills. That's the only thing I see with the rise of these chatbots. All right, next question. It's a very long question. I'm not even sure you can see the whole question. Okay, you can see the whole. As I understand, only as simple yes before 2021. Knowing how quickly medical information is doubling, thoughts on how we get to a point where AI can better understand the medical literature and know what studies and use that information to help drive clinical decision making. Heard Google has a healthcare ChatGPT in the works. Yes. What should be the goal here? To build chatbots that can answer all the questions humanity might have in mind, or to provide a support tool that every physician has been dreaming about. I think that these AI tools can fall into the latter category. And I don't see why we would focus on building services and chatbots that could answer everything, because then what's the point in having us? What's the point in going through 6 years of medical training and then who knows how many years, tens of years, decades of specialized medical training? I think there's a support, the tool should be a support tool that could contribute to our medical decision making, not something that does the task instead of us. Moreover, it's not able to do that, and not even in the coming years would it be able to do that. All right. Will it help public health professionals? Asked by Tariq. That's the plan. Yes, as I mentioned before. That's a good question. What new digital health ventures can be created with ChatGPT? The question is coming from Andres Cardona Mendoza. Well, anything that helps summarize information. Research website that summarize abstracts and really complicated studies and clinical trials and research papers. Services that would summarize medical records. Examples I described before. And you can build ventures on that, but for what reason when ChatGPT can do the same for free in seconds? A few days ago, I was at a dinner and the CEO of a company told me that he has a winery. And he told me, don't tell me that this AI tool could design a wine label for my upcoming rosé wine. And I went to Midjourney on Discord and I designed a wine label for it, actually. If you want to have some fun here, we can try to do the same. We can go on ChatGPT to the newbie section and you again, okay, now you can see my brief / imagine. And my prompt is a wine label about a non-alcoholic wine with very colorful and, I don't know, modern colors in a photorealistic style. I don't know. I just thought that we should give it a try. And we will see what Midjourney, an AI image generator, comes up with. You think I can see my wine label yet? No, it got lost. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. It takes a few more seconds. Maybe a few more, 62%. It's gonna be 90 something, and then ready. Our non-alcoholic wine label with very colorful labels will be ready in about 2-3 seconds. It will get vanished from here. It will go to the bottom of the page in a couple of seconds. That's it. It's ready. Here it is. It provided even a name, a very silly name. Okay, but it's beautifully designed. It's spectacular. So yeah, it's possible to do even such things with AI-based tools. Actually, if we were, you know what? Let's keep on playing with Midjourney for a few seconds. I just launched a new medical practice and design, just a logo for a medical practice that uses advanced technologies, likes bright colors, and is very futuristic. Oh, we will see. But using AI tools, we have been working at the Medical Futurist on an article about that using AI tools, a physician today could create like a logo with an AI tool. Where is my, oh, here it is. A website with AI tools, content for the website through copy editing tools, copy edit for the website, images, video content, even through deepfakes, a lot of things just by using free AI tools. I even have a tool called voice.ai with which I can change my voice and I sound like Morgan Freeman. You can do all these things now with free tools. It's really mind-blowing, and it's getting harder and harder to keep up with the pace of change. about these AI tools. It's my job as a researcher to do that, and it still takes me hours every single day. Now, come on, the logo is almost ready. Man, it's gonna be a great logo. It's in the bottom somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. Jesus Christ. Well, this brain looks amazing. The text is not good enough because I think Midjourney is really bad at putting text on images. But this logo or that, man, these look spectacular. If you want to do something in a... No, let me go back first. If you want me to design like an image for a healthcare-based practice, then just let me know and I would try to do that on Midjourney. Dr. Z, why is ChatGPT up to date only to 2021? Because it makes sense to avoid it reflecting on recent issues, recent events. It couldn't make a good decision, and just restricting it to information before 2021, it doesn't allow people to make predictions based on that, or bet on sport teams based on the responses they get from ChatGPT. So it's a bit harder to use it for the bad or wrong purposes, wrong reasons. Andy Oliveira, can I say that ChatGPT is more well-structured chatbot conversation? I guess you mean compared to other chatbots on the market? No, I think other chatbots on the market work like an ant, and this one is a lion. It's a bit more complicated. It can do so many things. It's much more dangerous. I'm sorry for the bad metaphor, but you get the point. Mike Best, you can ask ChatGPT if he thinks AI will be replaced by nanotechnology. Actually, you just gave me a good idea here. Let's ask. Will artificial... No? Let's ask the question everybody's always asking me. Will artificial intelligence replace physicians? Right? AI has the potential to assist physicians in a variety of tasks, diagnostics, treatment planning, but is unlikely to fully replace. Thank you, ChatGPT, for confirming my point that I make almost every single week. My AI can process large amounts of data and make predictions based on the data. It doesn't have the same level of understanding and expertise. Man, it gives a better response to that question about itself than a human being would be able to. That's spectacular. Adam Schmidt, thank you and welcome to the stream. Will this make patients who use ChatGPT for getting information about their condition question the MD's knowledge? Absolutely. But there's the same again with patients going on websites and finding information that they bring to the next doctor-patient visit. They will question their knowledge. They will ask these specific questions. It has been going on for 2 decades now. AI will make it a bit more complicated, but I don't see that fundamentally how these two things are different now. Sandra Schluchter, how do you avoid influencing of the data? You cannot. It crawls the entire World Wide Web, so how can you make sure that the data you change will be the only data point ChatGPT looks at? I don't see how it could be done. A good question here about copyright. Who is the copyright for your wine label? Anything that you create through these AI tools, nobody has the copyright for them. You are free to use as well as anybody else is free to use unless you pay an amount, and then you are the only one who can use it. Trash logo. It's a good logo. Come on, it was beautiful. How to feel react when we discover a new disease? So Andre Oliveira, it won't understand the question. It doesn't know how we feel, doesn't know what it means to discover a new disease. Not even a physician will be able to answer that question, I think. Okay, NA, it's a... And you want to see an elegant and minimalistic psychotherapy practice logo, including a lioness. Jesus. Okay, man, I said I would do that for you, so I will do it for you. If I promise something, I deliver, guys. Imagine an elegant and minimalistic psychotherapy medical. It needs, medical is an important word here. Practice logo that includes lioness. We will see. It's a very strange brief, and you are more than welcome to come up with similar briefs. I have many more questions to go through, so I think I will not stop at the 1 hour mark. We will keep on going into the second hour. There are so many more questions to answer. We are getting there. It's going to be a logo. It is a lioness. So it's not totally unbelievable that it will be able to do that. Oof. It's done. That's it. Well, I would, maybe this could be a psychotherapy, but the medical part doesn't come through to me. It's just a logo about a lioness. So it was not as impressive as the ones before this. The site JPolizzi that I'm using is called Midjourney. It's let me include that in the chat. Midjourney. It's a Discord channel. So you have to be a member of Discord. It's a free site. You have to register and log in. And after that, you can use Midjourney, the channel of Midjourney, for free. There are, I'm going back here. Hopefully you can see that again. You can see that, but I will make you see it. There are newbies rooms. These are the ones that you are looking for. And in newbies rooms, you can ask these briefs. All right, let's keep on doing with the questions. There are so many coming in. I really appreciate your time and everything for being here and asking all these amazing questions. Harvey Castro, do you see ChatGPT will be considered by the FDA or in Europe governing entities as a medical device? No way, not for the next year or so. The FDA and the European Union have even hard time approving AI-based medical technologies that have clinical trials and peer-reviewed support and evidence in the background. So ChatGPT is far from that. The first papers are coming out in these very weeks about ChatGPT. And that's just the first iteration. We will see how it evolves in the future. All right. Next question. What if ChatGPT is used by patients and take treatment themselves after getting diagnosis and over-the-counter medication? The same as it happens when it happens through a patient coming across the same details on a medical website. It's the patient's responsibility that they shouldn't use anything that not physicians are recommending to them. It's just general knowledge. If you read about a treatment on a billboard out there or on a website, or you get the same from an AI tool, there is no from the legal, ethical, social perspective, there is no fundamental difference between these three examples. All right. What can you say about the recent announcement of the paid version of ChatGPT? That I will pay for that. I will pay for that to be able to use it every single time I want to use it, unfortunately. And that's not just the first AI tool I will be paying for, and I think you will also be paying for many others. Use of I'm going through many questions, but we've covered them all. Cyber threat, using medical cases, medication management, how to use ChatGPT for a pharma company. I don't see yet. Pharma companies should invest into AI being used in drug design and drug repurposing, not ChatGPT for now. But you will see ChatGPT in Microsoft Office tools, I think, before you see them being used by pharma companies. Is there any tool available free of charge for generating large synthetic biobank databases? I don't think so. There are GANs, generative adversarial networks, that are able to do that, but not through free tools and tools like ChatGPT. I would like to know how to be a power user of ChatGPT and AI in our discovery. I don't see for now how you can ask ChatGPT to come up with information that you could ask also in a Google search. Otherwise, I don't see. But if you want to know, let's just ask our dear friend here, ChatGPT. Dear ChatGPT, how can ChatGPT be used for improving drug design and discovery for pharmaceutical companies? Let's see. Nothing yet. Again, it's a bit slower than usual. You know, it's a free version, so I will... Oh, ChatGPT is a large language model, can be used to assist in drug design. Okay, several ways. Text mining and natural language processing. It can be trained to process, analyze large amounts of unstructured data, texts, scientific articles, papers, drug pathway. Okay. Predictive modeling. It can be used to build predictive models that can identify potential drug candidates based on their chemical properties or other characteristics. Virtual screening to simulate the binding of small molecules to target protein. Jesus Christ. Generative models to generate new chemical compounds and drug candidates. Just some examples. It's simply mind-blowing that it can do that. So if I included some data from an Excel spreadsheet, it would be able to do these things for us. Okay, next question. Do you see ChatGPT in society, health, education? Well, if it can answer questions about general knowledge about health and disease management, then of course it can contribute to that. But for that, it has to be verified, which won't take place in the near future. What does it add up to the field of service design? I have no idea. Desmond Thomas, yes, we discussed that before, that unfortunately we have to be the ones verifying the information coming out of ChatGPT, because there are no details about how ChatGPT came up with a response. Oleg, Philip, do you have any discounts for your digital health course? Yes, we provide discounts for medical students up to like 70%. Just send an email to my email address about it, which is worksy.com, medicalfuturist.com, with a proof about you being a medical student. What do you think about the response of medical fraternity to ChatGPT and other AI tools? Since these tools are reducing dependency on doctors, I'm not so sure about that, and making them less and less important for patients. I don't think that's true. I think these AI tools, being as amazing as they are, it will make patients depend even more on physicians, because as I mentioned before, the details they get from these tools cannot be verified. So they will increasingly need their physicians to help them deal with such information coming from these tools. Is there a way for ChatGPT to detect typos in the text input? I'm pretty sure about that. Just ask to look for typos in this or that text and copy the text into that. I'm pretty sure it can do that. It's quite a simple test to do. Even Microsoft Word can do that, not an AI-based tool. All right. How to use ChatGPT as a symptom checker? Well, very cautiously, because as I demonstrated before, it can come up with really wrong answers. How reliable is it? Okay, we discussed that before. How to integrate in the clinical workflow? It very much depends on at what stage you want to integrate it into the medical workflow, like for administration or just like sending emails. That's something you can do in the background, but when it has to interact with patients, that's a different scenario. So it very much depends on the details. How ChatGPT could leverage radiology? I guess is the other way around. How radiology could leverage the power of ChatGPT. Actually, it's a good question to ask. Let's ask our friend. How can ChatGPT used in radiology? Let's see. At some point, I will even stop answering your questions. I will just include every single question into ChatGPT, and I will just correct the responses it provides. If those are not correct, then I will correct them, but that's all. So, ChatGPT for radiology, image analysis. It can be trained to process, analyze medical images like X-rays and MRIs. Okay. Generate radiology reports based on images. It can be used to process and extract information from radiology reports, and it can be used to predict. It's very similar to the other question that we asked. So it seems that it keeps on providing similar responses. I would love to be able to test it with actual medical data. That would really mean something. Okay, next question. Wow, at least 20 more are here. How can we use AI and ChatGPT for telehealth care? I don't think we can use ChatGPT for that now, but we can use AI for creating deepfake videos of physicians, and a chatbot could answer the questions. Maybe use chatbot and a deepfake video to make it look like the patient is having a telemedical consultation. I know it doesn't sound ethically fair, but because of doctor shortages, at some point we will come to this. And I hope you know, because we discussed it, I think 2 live Q&As before. What is the trick for you to make sure that the video, the physician on the video you are talking to is not a deepfake video? Do you know the trick for that? Chat? Just let me know. What do you have to do to find out if your deepfake physician is a deepfake physician indeed and not a real one? In the meantime, I keep on going on. How can students benefit from ChatGPT? This is really a question. If I was a medical student today, boy, I would be on ChatGPT like 3 hours every single day. You know, we have the digital health course, and on the digital health course, students, everyone who is taking the course, I just shared the link with you now, has to submit an assignment. And the assignment can be a press release about the medical technology going berserk in 2032, or a scientific short story, anything like that. And I received about over 1,000 assignments. Since the end of December, I'm not sure if I'm reading assignments written by those people who are taking our course, or assignments that they just asked ChatGPT to write for them. In the meantime, nobody answered the question about the deepfake trick. You have to ask the deepfake physician to look at their side. That's something deepfake cannot do for now. But do you know what? Let's ask again our good friend here. Write a press release about the medical technology going berserk in 2032. That's one of the assignments in my course. I hope it doesn't come up with anything useful, because if it does, then I'm doomed. I just won't be able to tell whether students are submitting handwritten assignments or not. I hope it doesn't come up with anything useful. In a shocking turn of events, a medical technology designed to assist doctors and nurses in their duties malfunctioned today, causing widespread chaos and injury at a hospital name. According to initial reports, a highly advanced artificial intelligence system was being used in the hospital's emergency department when it suddenly malfunctioned. The system, which had been designed to assist with patient triage and diagnosis, began making erratic and dangerous decisions, leading to serious injuries among both patients and medical staff. Hospital officials were quick to respond to the incident, shutting down the AI system and activating emergency protocols. This is a tragic and completely unacceptable event, said the hospital CEO. The hospital are working with the manufacturers of the technology to understand what went wrong. The incident highlights the importance of proper testing. Boy, this is simply awful, guys. This means from now on, I will not be able to describe if an assignment is real or written by ChatGPT. It literally breaks my heart. It's just awful. I hope it blew your mind away as much as it blew mine. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. We have a few more questions going on. Does ChatGPT integrate with electronic medical records? I would say, fortunately not, but I also have to say not for now. I guess there will be medical record vendors doing that very soon in the future. Can I use ChatGPT to create a personalized care pathway? Yes, absolutely you can. I received a private email from a peer, a colleague of mine, who told me that he downloaded data from his Fitbit wearable, the Fitbit device. He uploaded it with some specific questions about fine-tuning his lifestyle, habits, and insights. And it received responses based on the data that the question included. So yes, it can provide care. Actually, let me ask ChatGPT a very dumb, very strange question. I personally have go back until I describe it to you. Two genetic tests have showed that I have so-called novelty seeking behavior, because I have two gene variants that lead to serotonin reuptake deficiency, which means even if I do something that makes me happy, I will lose that feeling soon, because my neural cells cannot reuptake serotonin. Thus, I have to constantly look for new things to keep myself satisfied and dynamic and happy. And that's called a novelty seeking behavior. It's also called neophilia. I'm very interested in ChatGPT. And actually, I have been trying to search for this and other people's experiences with that and what they do about it. But what advice would you give to someone who has a novelty seeking behavior? What mental health advice would you give to someone who has a novelty seeking? I'm very curious about it. I did some searches about this on Google. I found a few articles on Psychology Today and stuff like that. Those contained a few bits and details, but nothing extraordinary. Again, I hope it doesn't come up with anything useful. It's important for them to understand that while seeking out new and exciting experiences can be enjoyable, it's also important to maintain a balance. Jesus Christ, it's beautiful. It's perfect. Here are a few pieces of advice. Set boundaries. To set limits on how much time and money you spend on seeking out new experiences. Find healthy outlets. Instead of constantly seeking out new and potentially risky experiences, I don't do that. Find healthy outlets for your desire for novelty, learning a new skill, volunteering. Reflect on your motivations. Take some time to reflect on why you feel the need. Jesus Christ, this is beautiful. This is just extraordinary. Seek professional help. Thank you. Be mindful of your safety. Okay, I don't parachute. It's a new thing. This is spectacular. All right, guys. All right. A few more questions to go through. If you haven't lost, no, I'm just kidding. Of course, we haven't lost hope in humanity. These tools will rise us. It will help us. It will be the best assistant we've ever dreamed about. And we will do our job even better. We will be forced, if not motivated, to constantly look for the skills, the things that make us exceptional human beings, because everything else, everything that is repetitive and or data-based will be taken care of by these AI-based tools. Any legal issues, FDA approvals. Okay, I think we've gone through all the major things here. And okay, we are getting to the end. I'm checking if you have any more questions. We've had about, I think, 70 or 80 questions in the stream. I think that's more than enough. And it's quite clear based on how many of you took part in this stream and how many questions you sent to me before, and how many questions you asked during the stream, that we will have to have more streams about that. I will have more live Q&As about that. It's just simply extraordinary, and I hope that you get why I'm so excited about this breakthrough. ChatGPT alone, not even talking about multi-med QA and all these medical chatbots, just the fact that this tool is publicly and globally available, and you can ask all your silly questions, and by the time or throughout this time, you build your own relationship with this technology. I think it's extraordinary. So I hope that with this live Q&A, I could answer some of the questions that bothered your minds. I hope that you saw how you could use them yourself, and you will now go on ChatGPT, you will go on Midjourney, and ask really specific, really exciting, or just simple questions about your life, your job, your future. And you will start creating AI-based images with the Midjourney and Dolly. I hope that you enjoyed being here. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for you for being in the chat for more than like 75 minutes and asking all these really smart, really thoughtful questions. In the meantime, of course, as usual, we will keep on analyzing AI and all these tools and keep on publishing free articles, analysis every single day on the Medical Futurist LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube channels, as well as on the medicalfuturist.com website. If you want to support us while we do that, you can do this through 3 ways. You can buy the ebooks we publish on leanpub.com, The Medical Futurist. Let me share just one book with you about the future of AI. If you want to get exclusive content that we publish on social media, then you can become a patron for us on patreon.com/The Medical Futurist. And you can also join the YouTube channel and support what we do. So the team of 15 people at The Medical Futurist, we can keep on providing a huge amount of information and analysis and details for free. In the meantime, I hope that you will be safe and you will keep on experimenting with these AI tools. And I hope to see you at the next live Q&A, where with a very special guest, I will describe and analyze the impact of all the virtual, mixed and augmented reality tools and technologies and the impact those tools can have on medicine and healthcare. So thank you so much again for being here with us today, and have an excellent day. Bye.